Hello and welcome back. I'm Randy Bueller, now joined by Mike Ron. How are things?
Sounds like things are going well this time.
4-0
After last,
pretty good.
that's pretty good start, about as good as you can get.
4-0 is indeed about as good as you can get. Hopefully Mike's hanging out with us. Looks like these cameras having a little bit of a loading issue. But yeah, we are on the verge of a sweep. We have not had a sweep yet in Team TDSL. We've had a couple of 5-1s. More 5-1s than I was expecting, quite frankly. But the Hawaii 5-0 is at stake here. You guys going to pull it off?
Well, it's looking like it. Our decks didn't look amazing, but they're better than last time.
Okay.
I haven't looked at everyone's deck list, but looks like our decks are pretty strong.
Yeah, we're going to get to watch Jelger against Jamie Parke this round. Those are the two decks we haven't had on camera so far. What do you know about Jelger and his draft?
That's the one I didn't get to see very much of. I played against Jamie already.
Okay. It looked like you smashed him pretty quick.
Yeah, it was pretty fast. I got pretty lucky with a lay claim game 1, and then the Dusk Dawn game 2 was quite good. Although he did unburden away my trial and lay claim that game, so it was pretty close.
Okay. So maybe closer than the 2-0 made it look.
Right,
and,
yeah, they were close games.
We do have one match going off camera this round. Round 3 is the last round we double up on. It'll be Finkel and Hohen. We're hoping to hold them a little bit, bring you updates, and if our match ends first, we'll, of course, go watch the coverage of that. Man,
okay, so
this draft has been such a blowout tonight. I don't know that I was expecting that after watching the decks get drafted, but here we are.
Looking at Jelger's deck list, it looks quite strong. I didn't see he has Ronus, Red Trial with 3 cartouches, Magma Spray, Electrified. Very strong deck.
Nuts. This is a team draft deck?
Yeah, I mean, no bad cards in the deck. I think maybe Nimbleblade Kenra's the worst card, which isn't that bad with all those cartouches.
Yeah, I know that Jelger's not doing commentary this week. I'm actually subbing in for him. I know he likes to hang out with you guys, but if you remember the last time we were on, the audio setup, he's on the road. He's actually in the Philippines calling in from.
Right.
And doesn't have his normal computer setup, so was not able to really upgrade his audio setup. We decided we would just give him the week off from a commentary point of view, but hopefully we can get him in the booth should you guys get to play again, which looking pretty likely at this point.
Looking good, yeah. Yeah, I'm actually also in the Philippines.
Ah, right. But so, you live there and he's visiting?
I live there, and yeah, he's just visiting, yeah.
This is an elimination match. We haven't really been playing that up tonight, but the way the format works, it's 2 rounds of Swiss, and then if you go 0-2, you're out. If you go 1-1, you have to play a win and in game to try to get into the top 4 and keep playing. But you guys are 0-1. Gamers Helping Gamers are 0-1. The loser of this is out. The winner will earn themselves 1 shot to secure a top 4 berth.
Yeah, some higher stakes this time, and Gamers Helping Gamers need a lot of work to get that done here. But hopefully we have some good games. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, there you go. Let's hope for some good games. Sounds good to me. Yeah, we're in the process of getting the hand cam set up. How did the draft feel from your seat? We haven't really got the chance to talk to you about what you did during the draft and why.
Well, my draft went very smoothly. I think my picks are pretty obvious.
Okay.
White was open. Yeah, blue wasn't that open, but I didn't end up playing very many blue cards, which was fine. I don't know what else I could have played instead, maybe red. But the packs that came to me had some good red cards in pack 3. One had Red Trial and Magma Spray, followed by the next pack also had Magma Spray and a Deemworthy.
Oh, wow.
So I didn't take either of them because I figured if I D'd one up, my teammate might get neither of them, and it wouldn't really help in that fashion. So I just went with the white card for my deck. And I didn't really hate draft much, so my deck's pretty strong, but I don't think hate drafting would have helped very much anyway.
So that pack you mentioned, Chris actually took Samut out of it, figuring if you were red-green, he was just going to get destroyed by passing that card. Thought it was too good to pass. And then you did manage to float one of the red cards through to Jelger, right?
Right, yeah, I was kind of surprised. Yeah, Samet is one of the cards that's on the list of cards you just don't pass in Team Draft. That one and Glorybringer and the Angel, those cards you just don't pass. I mean, if there's like a foil rare for your, like a foil Glorybringer or something, sure, you can take that. But yeah, you just don't want to pass that card. It's one of the cards that can just single-handedly beat someone. Like, they just don't have an answer for it in their entire card pool. So yeah, that's probably wise that he deed that up.
Makes sense. All right, well, sounds like our players are ready. Let's get down to the match. Hello and welcome to round 3. Goat Stew leads 4 wins to 0 over Gamers Helping Gamers. It only takes 5 to lock things up and move on in the event. Jelger's got, a couple of forests. That hand looks good as long as he can find some red mana. Whereas
Jamie's hand is quite good.
Yeah, Jamie on the play too. Gets a Vitalist to accelerate himself. Both got the mana.
Does Jamie have any cartouches? No, he doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he played both green and black trial against me. I thought he might have a cartouche, which would have been devastating, but no, he doesn't have one, it turns out.
Interesting. Goes Bitterblade Warrior here instead of Vitalist. Makes sense with the curve he's got in his hand.
Right, but the Vitalist doesn't ramp him into anything.
Right. It's to a couple of 3s. Getting to 4 doesn't actually help. Jelger's still sitting on only green mana.
Yeah, this could be over quick if he doesn't draw one in the next 2 turns.
Jamie does not want to be the one who gave up the his phrase, the Hawaii 5-0. Sure. Let's get up to 6 power. Jelger needs not a red card. Yeah. That is not what Jelger needed there.
Well, if he draws another forest, he can at least cycle into Magma Spray next turn. Well, but another 4-power creature is going to be rough.
Crunch. Jelger down to 12. And here comes
He's going to take at least 6 next turn. So we'll be at 6.
Trust philosophy. Yeah. No.
Oh, well.
Bye-bye. All right. Jamie Park on the board. But Gamers Helping Gamers, they've had a game win. They've had a couple of those. We've seen Chris go up a game. John went up a game. They have not managed the match win, though. Sideboarding do anything?
Yeah. Let me take a look at what options Jelger has. The brute strength is okay, but he already has 2, so he doesn't want another one. No, I don't think so. I think he just goes as is. And yeah, I think he had to keep that hand. Sometimes you don't draw the land you need. It happens.
Makes sense.
Had he drawn the mountain that turn, I think he still would have lost anyway. He needed it a turn earlier.
All right, Jamie up a quick game. What do you think of this matchup, though? I mean, obviously, anybody can win when their opponent is mana screwed. But you like Jelger's side of this more, or Jamie's? How you see these 2 decks play
I think it's very close. I think Jelger's got some more powerful cards, but Jamie's got the bigger creatures. So I think it's going to be very close. If Jelger draws his Ronis or his Trial, I think he'll win. If not, I think he'll have trouble with the size of Jamie's creatures. But Jelger just needs to get a good draw.
His deck can beat down.
He's got some cheap creatures.
Multiple brute strengths in there.
Yeah.
Multiple
Got two Blood
cartouches
Rage
to go with
Brawlers.
Trial of Zeal.
Yeah, he really just can't afford to miss a 2 and a 3 drop.
Right.
I don't think he can win if he does that.
Yeah, I like Jelger's side of this, quite frankly. And we'll see. I mean, Jelger has to come out of the gates early. That's the thing. Like, his average draw should be good enough, but if he hiccups early, gives Jamie time to set up good defense. It's hard.
And Jelger actually has 9 mountains with an evolving wild, so he definitely got to keep that hand that he had. His 1/4 of his deck is mountains.
No, that makes sense. Oh yeah, he's only got 6 green cards, huh? And he's only got, what is that, 6 forests?
Yeah, 6 forests, 6 green cards. Yeah, he's got a very low curve, a little bit lower than Jamie's.
All right, here we go. Game 2. Jamie trying to hang a W on the board for Gamers Helping Gamers.
Off to a good start.
Yeah, it's a great draw for Jelger.
Okay, yeah, he's got all his colors. He's got a good curve. If he draws a couple more spells, he'll be very, very well off.
Jamie
It looks like Jamie's got the same problem as Jelger did last game with no swamps.
Yeah, I mean, at least his creatures are green. I mean, not the mummy, but he's got a 2-drop and a 4-drop.
Yeah, he'll put up a little bit of a fight, some resistance at least. And if Jelger plays the 4/3 here, the 3/1 would seem like it lines up well, but the brute strength will be very brutal. Yeah, so naturally, and Jelger drew another mountain, so he definitely does not need 3 more mountains. Hopefully Jamie can draw a swamp.
I mean, Initiate's Companion matches up all right against the Brawler. Oh, God, that brute strength is going to be savage, isn't it? Yeah. Jamie thinks his Companion matches up against this guy.
Yeah, and Jamie has a deck list, so he knows what's going to happen here, but I think you still have to block.
You can't just take 4 forever.
It's going to be the same situation next turn.
Jamie says, show me the brute strength, and Jelger says, yep, I got it. Only 6 trample damage, and your guy dies. No big deal.
There's a swamp, and Jelger still just has 2 spells now. So it actually looks pretty good for Jamie at this point if Jelger draws more lands.
Yeah, Wander Death can get back the Companion, too, to make another try at trading. Swamp was the big draw. But now how do you sequence it? Do you just play Mummy here? Yeah.
That's the only option.
I mean, I could imagine Wander back the Companion, and then you have 2 2-drops for the next turn. But
I think he still just wants to play the 4/3 next turn.
Makes sense.
Okay, so here's a 4 damage for Jelger. It's going to put him to 10. But further damage after that is going to be kind of tough to find. Maybe he just cycles the Ceradon looking for another threat here. He would otherwise need 2 more lands.
Yeah.
It's not particularly great against Jamie's deck anyway. He's got lots of 4/3s.
That's a good draw.
So he'll be able to get Jamie very low, if not kill him, at the very least. So it's unlikely Jamie's going to be attacking for the next many turns. Even if Jelger just has 1 creature left, it's going to be lethal.
Oh, Bobby's going to get in there.
That is very aggressive.
Jamie content to defend himself with Quarry Hauler.
And the Quarry Hauler blocks pretty well, it'll trade. But Jelger just won't have to use his brute strength. He can save it for next time, for next attack. But if he draws a cartouche here, it's just game over.
Oh. Red cartouche would have been insane. Cartouche seal. But he drew a land. Any spell feels like would have been great for Jelger there. Just about anything would have just added more pressure.
Yeah.
As it is, what? You turn them both sideways, right?
I think so. I think you just accept the trade. Or you could just attack with the 2/1. But I think you attack with both.
I think you attack with both also.
And just don't cast the brute strength. But yeah, not trying a spell is pretty bad here. We're just saying go afterwards. Because Jamie has to block.
Yeah, for sure.
I wonder if you just don't exert. He could just not exert and see what Jamie does.
Oh, interesting. Offer up the trade with the 2-1, though? I mean, it's pretty transparent.
Well, then you'd cast the brute strength.
Oh, I know, but Jamie knows what's coming. Yeah, he exerts. I think that's right. All right, 4-3 is going to trade with the 4-3. Jelger gets through 3 damage. Does not have an attacker for next turn because of the exert. But it's still ahead on board.
Yeah, things went downhill without drawing a spell there. Now Jamie has lots of time to do whatever he wants. He can cast Leave Up Final Reward or just get back 2 guys. Play another 3-1.
Swamp means Jamie can replay Initiate's Companion this turn.
I think that's what he's going to do, get back both his creatures.
It's either that or leave up Final Reward, but I think you wander and play a 3-1.
Yeah, the only reason to leave up the Final Reward would be a red cartouche. But it's pretty clear Jelger doesn't have the creature or the cartouche at this point.
Yeah,
or he would have cast one or the other last turn.
Jelger draws a Thresher Lizard.
That's a pretty good draw.
Yeah, not bad. It's turned on as well. Jelger is heck bent.
Something that has to be final rewarded.
Ooh.
Oh, that's...
Oh, Exile doesn't turn on.
Doesn't quite work.
I was like, oh, removal spell into Bone Picker. But no, Exile doesn't trigger it, right?
Right. It's still a good draw, but not getting cast for one back.
Clear Thresher Lizard and attack for 5? Or do you think Jamie's supposed to leave a blocker here?
That seems safe, because he'll still have a blocker with the Vigilance from the Initiate's Companion. It won't be a great blocker. He'll have to leave with the 3-1 to block the 3-3 trample. But that seems fine. That's pretty safe. He's at 7.
So he's out of brute strength.
Jelger would need 2 things to get through. And he only has 1 card, of course.
Yeah,
there aren't many better things to final reward in Jelger's deck anyway. There's a 5-4 Emberhorn, Minotaur, and Ronus. But that's about it. Everything else is a little bit smaller.
Off camera, by the way, John Finkel has taken game 1. He mighty leap on a Bitterblade Warrior for the win, leaping over an Ancient Crab. Oh. Rich Hohen had out 2 Bounty of Luxa and an Ancient Crab when the game ended.
Wow. Okay. I was going to ask, last game, did John have the Mighty Leap in game 2?
No, he was hoping to draw it.
Okay.
Yeah, that was... You were doing a pretty good job of covering his outs, and he was failing to draw them anyway.
Okay. So he could play it safe and not attack with the Mummy here, but I don't know what the purpose of that would be.
Yeah, I think you got to get.
It's not going to block anything. I guess it would. I guess force Jelger to exert.
Yeah. All right. Jamie has successfully reconnected and seems to agree. Turn them both sideways. Initiate can untap a creature. Chooses itself, of course. And Jamie crosses his fingers. I hope he doesn't die.
Yeah, the red cartouche was lethal there.
Sure.
But he already knew that Jelger didn't have it, so he would have to draw it.
Exerts his way up to 3-3. Yeah, you've got to trade. Brute strength, though. Wow, Jelger declines. He'd rather play.
If he casts that, he can't cast the Minotaur.
Yep.
And it's still quite good on the Minotaur also.
I'll buy that.
So regardless of which creature Jamie plays here, the Minotaur is not going to be lethal, as is with the brute strength. Okay, but that
How
is
about now?
That was a good draw.
Cartouche of Zeal comes down. No blocking for you, Mr. Corey Holler, and let's see.
No blocking for anyone.
2 toughness. Exert gets 6 power.
He doesn't even need to cast the brute strength because Jamie just can't block.
All right.
Yeah, but I think Jamie had to play it like that. Just minimize chances for Jelger to draw that.
Yeah, I mean, he put Jelger in a spot where Jelger had to top deck to beat him. I don't think Jamie did anything wrong, but I do think Jelger's deck is better, especially for, the first 5-10 turns. 5 to 8 turns.
Yeah, the brute strengths are quite good in this matchup.
Yeah.
I generally don't like that card all that much.
Okay.
But Jelger's deck is very aggressive and very low to the ground, so that's the kind of deck it's very good in.
Sideboarding one out in favor of a fling. That's interesting.
Yeah, I'm not sure why he would do that.
I don't mind a fling, but I'm surprised brute strength is the card he's cutting. Off camera, meanwhile, John Finkel has honed Kopesh on a Gust Walker. Rich is once again defending himself with an Ancient Crab, which doesn't actually do a great job of defending against Gust Walker.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a good way to defend against that. Yeah, the brute strength seemed pretty good against Jamie's deck. Jamie only has a final reward main deck to really punish him, like get for one. So as long as your creature's going to have more toughness than the blocker's power, it's going to just kill the creature with very little risk. I guess he has a supernatural stamina. That's still maybe just a 1-for-1, depending on how things go.
Yeah, Jelger has submitted, so he just likes the fling better now.
Okay, I'm not sure, maybe because he's going second, but I don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The fling here only seems good to finish him off. He's not really going to be casting in response to a removal spell.
Right. He may just figure that since he's going second, he's not necessarily going to be on the front foot where he can trample over the new blocker. He's going to need.
I might have sided in the +3/+3 enchantment. What's that one called? Because Jamie has very little removal, so it's just going to be no drawback on it besides the -1/-1 every turn. The Consuming Fervor, that's what it's called. Okay, well,
there is the fling.
That's good. Even with the fling, it'd be better if it was a brute strength.
It does look like it would be a lot better as a brute strength than that draw. True story. Jelger's 2 lands look a lot better than Jamie's 2 lands, not going to lie.
Flinging the monitor can be the game over if you can get that done.
Man, Jamie's got a 5, a 4, a 5, a 3, only the 2 swamps.
Right. So he's got 2 swamps and a cycler, so I guess that's why he's keeping it. And he's going first. If he was going second, I think he'd have to mulligan.
Yeah, draw's not great. I guess he'd...
That was not a good draw. That had to be one of the worst possible cards he could draw, if not the worst possible. It's very unlikely he cast 2 Colossopeds this game. Although Jelger didn't draw his land, so if he just plays another 2-drop next turn, Jamie should have some time.
Swamp Lord of the Accursed.
Okay, that's something.
Yeah.
Not a great blocker here. Jelger drew the land, though.
Creature hasted up and a prowess trigger.
Right, and making that guy 2 power is going to be very good in the long run, because any 3 toughness creature won't be able to really block it confidently, just at the threat of a prowess trigger.
Yeah, here's 5, says Jelger.
Well, there's a redraw at a forest.
Wow, that hand is so clunky.
Oh, yeah, that's not good.
Green creature. This is looking pretty good for Goat Stew all of a sudden.
Jelger drew the land, so.
Ugh. And the electrify.
I don't think he needs to cast it here. Yeah, I wouldn't have bothered casting it. I actually would have just cycled the monitor and cast the Velocipede. I mean, you can still attack with both, and he can't really block.
Well, Jelger says...
I don't think it's going to matter.
Says you're at 10, and about the only race left is whether Finkel can win off-camera fast enough to avoid the 5-0 sweep. Oh, Forrest. Is that fast enough? Does Mouth help? Does Quarry Hauler help? Well, here's a 4-3.
Yeah, because now Jelger's attack it's just not there. He can attack.
Oh, wow. Trial of Zeal. Oh, yeah, my God.
If he knew he was going to draw that was a... Then attacking last turn or casting Electrify last turn was great.
Man, down goes Quarry Hauler. Jamie at 5. Jelger with 2 creatures and a fling in his hand.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter what Jamie draws here. It's over.
That's what it looks like. Wow.
Yeah, that was a beatdown.
What a savage beating you guys delivered. Gamers Helping Gamers may be a great scholarship, but they have not lived up to their billing here in the Team Draft Super League.
Well, I have a feeling they don't get to play that often.
And Chris was sick tonight. That definitely does sound like it affected his play. John Finkel wins his match. It's not a sweep.
They got on the board just in time.
They got on the board just in time. I'm looking at it off camera. Jamie may be slow rolling this block here, but they got a team win with an exclamation point. Yeah, Finkel over with Cohen. But nowhere close to good enough. 3 damage from the Nip Crop Entangler. Jelger's just like, he has no life gain for 1 black, right? Right. Let's get this over with.
So the brute strength would have done the same thing. So it didn't really matter.
Good point. So Jelger Wiegersma takes it, comes back after dropping the first game to Jamie Park, wins that match, and that is Goat Stew 5, and the team with the goat only 1. Now, was the name specifically targeted at John Finkel? I've been wondering this.
No, that's just a coincidence, of course.
Lucky coincidence. I know that it is the national dish of Curacao, where all 3 of you have lived and worked at various points in recent years.
Right. Yeah. That was Rich's choice of Goat Stew. It's a fine name, I suppose.
Hey, look, when you make a meal out of the goat, it makes perfect sense.
That's true, yeah. We're enjoying our Goat Stew right now.
Fair enough. Wow. So that means we're done. We announced some scholarship winners for Gaming Helpers Gamers. We watched a pretty good draft. Turned out to be a little more lopsided than it may have looked at first. But Gamers Helping Gamers is 0-2 and out of this season of the Team Draft Super League. Goat Stew, meanwhile, 1-1 and will be sitting and waiting. So you guys will be playing a win and in against either Dem Boys, who we know are 1-1, the winner of PGO versus Scottsdale Foundation, which is next week's matchup, and then the loser of CFB and Limited Resources. Man, these next 2 matchups look great too. I'm looking forward to next week. That's just that's Huey Reed and Owen against Paul and Dave and Matt Sperling. That's just a hell of a matchup.
Yeah, I mean, all the players are so good. All matchups are really strong. I think we're kind of hoping to get a rematch against them boys.
Ooh,
it looks like our best option.
Nice. That would be interesting. Next week, we will start an hour later. We'll be starting at 6 Pacific time. Pregame will come on probably 5:45-ish instead of our normal 5 o'clock Pacific time. And then we are off for the 4th of July. So next week, we're on. We're going to not have there's no show on 4th of July. Obviously, big holiday here in the States. And then I think the one everybody's been looking forward to, the winning in between Limited Resources, got to be the most surprising of our round 1 winners, and Channel Fireball. That one
will be great.
That one should be awesome.
I'm going to be rooting for the underdog there, the stream team.
Yeah? You don't want to get paired against them in your last match? You'd rather just see them through?
Well, I'd like to see them win. I don't really mind getting paired against the stronger teams.
Fair enough. They are certainly a very fun team to root for, no doubt about it. I mean, Paul Chi, congratulations to Paul Chi on a recent hire by Wizards of the Coast R&D. So he will actually
for the play design team.
Yeah.
Congratulations to him.
Yeah, he will.
I'm very happy to hear he got that job.
Yeah, I think that'll be good. He will have already moved to Seattle by the time of that match, actually. But that's not going to stop him from TDSL. We got friends on the inside. We'll make sure Paul
he can squeeze it.
Maybe call it a day a little early on Tuesdays. He'll be all right for TDSL. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. That is going to bring it to a wrap here in week 6. Come back next week. We'll have another elimination queued up for you. We will see you then.
Thanks for watching.